First of all, thank you everybody for the opportunity to allow me to present Merkle Science. Merkle Science is a blockchain transaction monitoring and intelligence company where we specialize in building software to assist businesses with cryptocurrency exposure. Now, Merkle Science was founded by Mrgank and Nirmal, who is our CEO and CTO respectively, where Mrgank started his career in traditional finance before moving over to work at a cryptocurrency exchange called Luno, where he was in charge of expanding their operations across Southeast Asia. And it was during his time at Luno that he experienced firsthand the difficulties that cryptocurrency businesses had in doing business, which was what led to the formation of Merkle Science. Now, my role in Merkle Science is as the founding team and associate director, where prior to Merkle Science, I actually started my career as a capital markets lawyer. And it is leveraging on my legal background that we were able to come up with solutions to assist companies in complying with relevant regulation. So as many of you today might be aware, cryptocurrency is becoming more and more prevalent, and we're seeing increased interest from both institutions, retails, and government themselves. Now, unfortunately, though, as the interest in cryptocurrency rises, unfortunately, this has also attracted a lot of bad actors. And unsurprisingly, I'm sure most of you would have read in the news about the hacks that have happened, scams and money laundering attempts. And it's precisely because of all the risks that cryptocurrency poses that we've seen regulators around the world come up with new laws and frameworks to try and license these cryptocurrency businesses. And the trouble that these cryptocurrency businesses face and the trouble that government face is that they don't know how to deal with the risk that comes with dealing with cryptocurrency. And that's where Merkle Science comes in. What we want to do is to build the infrastructure that would enable the adoption of the cryptocurrency industry. And the way that we decided to approach this problem was to first start by tackling the issue of compliance, right? So one of the biggest challenges that cryptocurrency businesses face today is being able to demonstrate to regulators that, hey, I know that a cryptocurrency that I'm dealing with is not coming from any illicit sources, right? And a lot of people have this impression that cryptocurrency is anonymous, right? Which leads to, huge money laundering risk. However, what we found, entering into the space is that cryptocurrency is not as anonymous as most people think. In fact, cryptocurrency is actually easily tracked. Now, the problem that we wanted to solve entering into the space in the early days was, is there a way for us to do transaction monitoring for cryptocurrency in a way that, let's say, banks and financial institutions could accept? And the way that we decided to tackle this issue was to build a platform that would enable our clients to perform real-time transaction monitoring and allow them to be able to detect where the cryptocurrency that they're receiving is coming from. What that means is that our platform is able to help businesses identify if the cryptocurrency that they're dealing with is coming from, let's say, sanctioned addresses, darknet marketplaces, mixers, and scammers. And we do this by having a team of analysts that builds a database of all the different accounts controlled by these criminal actors. And taking this one step further, our company has also designed a system that can not only detect where the cryptocurrency is coming from, but we've also built systems that can monitor and detect for suspicious transaction behavior patterns, not unlike those used by banks today in order to perform, transaction monitoring for cash. And this approach that we've taken today has garnered a lot of traction, where this is a review given to us by one of the top global exchanges in the world with over $1 billion of trading volume today, where in this review, you can clearly see that they were impressed by the way that we approach this issue, and they recognize that the approach that we've taken is also largely missing from a lot of the legacy vendors in the market today. Now, although we started out as a compliance company, we've since branched out to develop a range of different software solutions and services. So aside from our monitoring solution, which I just described to you guys today, we also have a forensics tool called Tracker, which we sell predominantly to law enforcement, financial investigation units and cybersecurity firms to assist them with tracking, cryptocurrency involved in different illicit activity, where we've worked on cases from, ransomware attacks to kidnapping, all the way to your typical scams. And as cryptocurrency gains in popularity, what we found is that it's not only enough for us to offer our clients, software solutions. Oftentimes, there's also a need to educate and train them. And so we also have an academy arm where we've trained, government agency, private sector clients, as well as financial institutions on what is blockchain, what is cryptocurrency, and how they can use our tools effectively to manage the risk. To give you guys a glimpse of the solution, this is our tracking solution, which allows users to visualize how cryptocurrency transactions are taking place, where they're originating from, as well as where these cryptocurrencies are then being cashed out by these criminal actors. And this information can then be used by law enforcement in order to identify the organization behind this incident. We have solutions that enable banks to monitor virtual asset providers that they onboard as clients, where we provide them with real-time information as to, what is the risk associated with these businesses? Do they do proper KYC? Are they transacting with illicit sources? And so we're proud to say that, since the formation of the company in 2018, we've since expanded to work with crypto businesses such as exchanges, custodians, wallets, financial institutions like banks, asset managers, as well as regulators and law enforcement. And we've been privileged enough to attract the investment from both, cryptocurrency VCs such as, 100X and DCG, which are known as the SoftBank of the crypto space, as well as even SG Innovate, which is a Singapore government deep tech fund. Originating out of Singapore, we've also today have set up offices in New York, London, and in Bangalore, where we serve a global clientele all over the world. And we're happy to share with what we do here today. And as we seek to expand the business, we are always looking to connect with other businesses that similarly work in the cryptocurrency industry or who can assist us in expanding to overseas markets. Yeah. So with that, I'd like to turn the time over to the Q&A. Any questions from the audience as to what it is that we do, how we do what we do?
Hi, this is Mukesh from Nishkaira. I just wanted to know the developments and the happenings in India with respect to what you are doing and what you are trying to do. If at all you are getting in touch with the government and RBI in taking up these issues.
So the Indian market is pretty tricky. We do work with a couple of crypto businesses on the ground, and by and large, it seems like the regulatory landscape in India is still in flux, which means that a lot of these businesses are still waiting to see how regulation is going to come down. And it's unsurprising because even at a global level, we're still seeing organizations like the Financial Action Task Force constantly revising their stance on cryptocurrencies. So we've engaged directly with a couple of the banks in India as well as the government, and it seems that it's more of a wait and see approach where it's not strictly illegal, but it remains to be seen if there will be a regulatory framework that would allow for the operation of crypto businesses legally.
What efforts are being made to ensure the respective governments across the globe that cryptocurrency is not going to disturb their economic systems?
So as part of what we do, as seen in the previous slide, we realize that a lot of the fear of cryptocurrency comes from a lot of the misconceptions and misunderstanding around the technology, where a lot of people have this idea that cryptocurrency is anonymous, whereas, as I've demonstrated, cryptocurrency isn't strictly anonymous. In fact, cryptocurrency can be traced much more easily than, let's say, something like cash can be, right? And so what we're doing at Merkle Science is trying to investigation and surveillance. And so today, we've trained a couple of government bodies from, the Malaysia Security Commission. We've trained some of the Indian law enforcement themselves, as well as many of the neighboring regulators across Southeast Asia. And I must say that the feedback generally has been positive, right? We've been seeing a lot of governments proactively reaching out to try and educate their own members in order to figure out how they can, develop frameworks that would allow for cryptocurrency to operate in a regulated and safe manner within their jurisdiction. And it's the use of such tools that can give them that kind of confidence.
What are the infrastructure tools that are required in a country like India to make it popular, plus taking it to the common man?
So the whole idea behind blockchain and cryptocurrency from day one was that it's actually very easily accessible by anyone, right? Anyone with an internet connection on their phone, on their computer would be able to, let's say, buy cryptocurrency and transact with it. So in terms of the infrastructure, there's actually not that much that needs to be done. Today, it's more about, developing appropriate regulations so that businesses know how they need to structure their businesses, and the emergence of course, software providers that can, provide support around KYC, AML, transaction monitoring, that can demonstrate to the regulators that, hey, as a business, we can operate and deal with cryptocurrency without breaking any laws and without, increasing the money laundering risk that exists today.
Just last one question, like, is too much of regulation will make cryptocurrency similar to the normal currencies?
I would say too much regulation will definitely end up creating, end up with an outcome where, yes, it will stifle innovation. But I think one thing that regulators are slowly starting to realize is that they cannot expect to impose the same kind of regulations that they do on cash on cryptocurrency, predominantly because cryptocurrency is not controlled by any one corporate, right? If you look at a lot of how regulations are conducted today, oftentimes these regulations and frameworks are imposed upon businesses, right? You regulate the banks, you regulate, the shops, the remittance companies. And if you are unhappy with the way that they're operating, you can actually shut them down. But with cryptocurrency, we're seeing something totally different, right? Using Bitcoin as an example, there's no way for any government to shut down Bitcoin. They can outlaw it, but unless they're going to, disable access to the internet for their local citizens, anyone with an internet connection can still go online and use Bitcoin, right? And I think governments are wising up to the fact that if they can't shut it down, they need to reach this middle ground to create a framework that will, again, not drive cryptocurrency underground, because that's not what they want, right? They don't want, people hiding how they use it. They want to foster this environment that would, give the impression that, hey, you can deal with cryptocurrency safely. And by regulating it, it will still allow them sufficient oversight and control to make sure that it doesn't, run like in the wild, wild west.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hey, I just have a quick question.
Sorry?
Yeah. Hi, Ian. Great presentation. I just wanted to know, like, which market currently do you think is the most up and coming in terms of like cryptocurrency and blockchain generally, like from what you have worked on?
So I think in terms of the markets that particularly foster cryptocurrency innovation, it would be countries like Singapore, for example. But then again, So this is a tough question, and it's a tough question because cryptocurrency businesses typically have two views. You have cryptocurrency businesses who want to operate in a regulated environment so that, they don't have to worry about business continuity, changing of laws. And so these companies would be attracted to jurisdictions like Singapore, like the US, where there are clear regulatory frameworks, right? And so we're seeing a lot of very cryptocurrency businesses that want to create financial products operating in these jurisdictions. But then, of course, you have cryptocurrency businesses that want to try and push the boundaries of the technology, in which case they would be attracted to jurisdictions with weaker frameworks or jurisdictions with less regulatory scrutiny. So, in that case, they will look towards countries like Vietnam, Thailand even. And so it's a difficult question for me to answer. I'd say businesses are popping up everywhere. It depends on whether or not they want to be in a regulated environment or do they want to, be in a less regulated environment.
Fair, no, that's understandable, yes. So would you say like between Singapore and the US, I guess, is Singapore doing better in terms of like coming up with cryptocurrency technologies or I guess companies?
I think, to be frank, I'd say the US definitely has more innovative products, but it's also because of the fact that it's a much larger country, right? And the fact that cryptocurrencies in the US had actually been regulated for longer than anywhere else in the world, because the US approach to cryptocurrency was to not create a special licensing regime for it, but in fact, they parked cryptocurrency under existing licenses that they had, which means that, from the very early days of cryptocurrency, businesses could already go there and apply for a traditional license. Whereas with many other jurisdictions like Singapore, it was only in the last 2 years that the regulators came up with a new framework, a lot of new requirements. And so a lot of these companies had to then, study what this new framework looked like in order to decide if they could actually meet those requirements. So in that sense, the US had a longer history of regulating cryptocurrencies.
Right. Okay. If you don't mind, just one last question, quick one. You must have seen the rise of like NFT market space currently, right? So do you think that's gonna make cryptocurrencies and blockchain generally just a little bit more out there in terms of like countries kind of adapting it?
Definitely. I do think that we are still in the very early days of exploring what blockchain and what cryptocurrencies can do. And at the end of the day, NFTs are just a digital representation of an asset, right? And in fact, all cryptocurrencies are digital representations of an asset. Whether that asset turns out to be cash, whether it's a piece of art, whether it's a piece of property, at the end of the day, they're all simply digital representations of something. And I think as we start realizing that, hey, we can start representing all kinds of assets digitally and create this, open network that will allow people to trade these assets freely, we'll see more and more industries start exploring it as a way to, let's say, raise funds, transfer assets. And, with that in mind, they would also have a lot more data in order to do things like analytics.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
So I had a question regarding the.
So like we can actually, yeah, sure. You can put on a chat box because we are running out of time.
Okay, sure.
Yes.
Sure, I'll do that.
Or you can just mail us at fintechs@startupreseau.com so we can like connect with you with the team of Merkle Science.
Okay, sure.
For this, thank you, Ian, for this presentation. So with this, we can move ahead with the second pitching today. That is Marsview. Saahil Kamath, co-founder and CTO at Marsview. Saahil, you hear me?
Hi, Nitesh. Good
Hi,
morning.
Saahil.
Good afternoon, sorry. I have with me Murali Mahalingam, who is the CEO of Marsview. He'll
You, Saahil, please speak up.
Yeah, can you all hear me?
Yes, Murali.
Yes, we can.
Yes, I thought I'll kick it off and turn it over to Saahil. On a lighter note, let's move from a artificial world of crypto to a cryptic world of AI, if you know what I mean. So anyway, I have a tight agenda. We have about 10 minutes to present the first half of Saahil. You're driving the deck, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. It's going to be a fairly tight agenda. The first half I would cover just, why digital CX? What do we mean by a digital customer experience? And in the second half of this presentation, Saahil will take you through what Marsview does and how we have solved customer problems in this space. My background, as a former CIO of a large private bank and being in the industry for about 25 years, I've seen many waves of innovation. And in the recent past, the first wave was the shift from consumer, the traditional banking to online and mobile. I was on the I had a front row seat experience seeing the transition. And the second wave was more on the movement from non-digital to digital technologies, which we saw at the personal and at the business level, so many changes and digital adoption happening, which we will talk about in a minute, of what kind of changes that have happened in the digital space itself. And what we are about to talk about is the third wave of innovation, which the movement just got started, which is the digital customer experience wave. And it is putting the customer in front and center, and how do you service a more informed customer, right? So if I'm calling Airtel or a bank as an example on a billing problem, I expect an agent on the other end to be knowledgeable to solve the problem at first contact. Or if I'm sent through an endless loop of these IVR automation, it is not good CX. So we'll talk about some of that and how the next wave of digital CX is going to address some of those problems. Saahil, on to the next slide. Yeah. So digital CX is the way forward, and how we are going to do this is the role of automation is very important in building trust and boosting customer satisfaction. And here is where Gartner's idea of digital twin in the contact center is coming to a reality. Saahil will show you some of the early implementations that we have on, or thought process we have on how this digital twin is becoming a reality in the contact center. Saahil, if you can move on to the next one. So that brings up the next issue about why the future of CX, the customer experience, lies in the contact center. If you take, so me as a personal experience, some of the basic services that I have to deal with have gone digital. Some of it is driven by the pandemic that happened the last year, but essential services like banking and insurance and hospitality, travel, healthcare, everything is moving to digital. And the first, the wave of the shift to digital, a lot of the companies and brands have done a tremendous job of handling this kind of a quick and rapid shift to digital. Although from a customer experience standpoint, if you talk to the CX leaders and some of the surveys that are out, the experience from an end customer is still not good enough. I can show you some of the examples on the slide here. Whether if I'm a student, my student experience or a parent experience is not up to the mark in terms of the visibility and monitoring child's progress. Or if I'm a customer of a bank, the long wait times have not gone away altogether. And also omni-channel experience is one other area where there is a lot of work to be done. So how do we bring all this together in a seamless experience and then put digital CX in front and center? As far as Saahil, the next one. What Gartner says, according to Gartner, customer experience drives over 2/3 of customer loyalty more than brand and price, because customer experience has become a key brand differentiator beyond price and product itself. And PwC thinks 1 in 3 customers will leave the brand that they love after just one bad experience. So the brand switch is reality. If I'm standing in a line on a checkout counter, I have options to go Google Pay or a Paytm. One bad experience that I have on either of those will lose me as a customer. So that is something to take away. And if I'm a CX leader trying to improve the customer experience. So the next is the path to digital experience. It begins in the contact center. Why I feel that way is, companies today collect a lot of data in the contact center, and the measurement capabilities have fallen behind the pace at which the data gets collected. So that's where we start. So for you to get to a seamless digital experience in the contact center, you need to get the right data, you need to have the right infrastructure, you need to work with the best in class AI services or services from the ecosystem and not get logged in by a single vendor. And AI automation has to come into the contact center, which we'll talk about more in the later slides. Personalization and innovation is something that is very important, and it's a continuation. Innovation is something that is to be done in perpetuity. Finally, I just want to transition to Saahil after this slide. So the three solutions, and I've done a survey with a lot of CX leaders around the globe, and these three priorities come up as of high importance to the CX leaders, and you will see more of it in the years to come. First one is the digital self-service automation. So this is where we are talking about the extension of the digital twin and creating these digital workforce movement to bring the costs of running your contact center. The second is agent assistance. Empowering your agents in servicing your customers is of utmost importance. And a lot of the current day chatbot kind of systems help in that cost, but we are talking about a real time as the conversation is happening with the customer during a call. How can you empower your agent to provide the best service? Finally, bringing AI front and center into creating an intelligent environment for agents and the supervisors in the contact center to work to improve the overall performance of the contact center. So that's where the conversation analytics and intelligence come in. The idea is to create the business outcomes the CX leaders need, which is increasing the share of wallet, retaining your customers, providing a memorable experience to your customers, and creating an operationally efficient and excellent contact center. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Saahil, who will take you through some of the finer details of how we solve this problem in the real world.
Thank you, Murali. So if you really see, right, so the way we see from an unhappy customer to a journey from unhappy customer to a happy customer looks something like this. So there's agent and customer conversation, and then there has to be some element of real-time conversation insights back to the agent and the supervisor, and then some recommendation and actions given to the agent in real time while he's talking to the customer. And then that in turn helps improve CX metrics, right? This organically gave rise to three main solutions that we offer, which is the self-service automation, real-time assist, and conversation analytics. I'll speak a little bit more about this in the further slides. So what we offer are these three solutions as a whole. Just to start off with self-service automation, right? So we provide a very hyper-realistic human bot, which essentially reads through all your conversations, audio files, prior conversations, and then creates something we call stories, which automatically understands context, and it connects back with the knowledge base of the customer and also the conversation insights. So as you can see here, it's context aware. The main legs of our self-service automation bot is it listens to the customer, it empathizes with the customer, tries to solve the exact problem, and then in turn learn after every call. So this is the four main cycle that it follows. It understands the customer's intent, and then listens and matches the customer's tone to context. This is quite important because the present voice bot that you're seeing out there does not try and understand customer's tone. And when you match that with the context, you start to empathize with the customer, and then that along with a very natural language response with the right intonation and the right emotions, you can solve the issue and recommend just like how a human would have, or sometimes even better than humans, right? So this is, and then of course, just to complete the circle, every call is a learning mechanism for the bot because it has thousands and thousands of metadata that it generates that it can, understand and learn from. Right. The second solution that we provide is the real-time agent assist. If you see in the present world, it's not really super realistic for us to expect an agent to know the answer for everything he's been asked in real time without context and knowledge, prior knowledge about the customer, right? So that's where we fill in the gap. By understanding the customer insights and the conversation insights, we bring something called the real-time agent assist, where it understands the customers' engagement, the empathy, the tone, the emotions. And in the bottom half, you can see it gives you recommendations and lets you take notes in real time. All of this hands off for the agent would be a real good help. And on the flip side, on the other side, when it comes to the supervisor, using the same technology that we use for agent assist, we're able to pull in a lot of information about the overall agent or the team that the supervisor handles, and hence giving them a nice agent scorecard that you can see here. And then the next solution that we provide just very organically that goes through right after the call is conversation analytics, where you understand how the conversation went. The present system really concentrates a lot on the quantitative aspects of the calls, like, hey, how long did he take? What was the average call duration? But it's slowly changing now that it's becoming more digital. You have to start looking into a lot more qualitative insights than just quantitative, and that's where we come in. So we understand the tone changes per sentence and what intonations the customer used and which topic had a bad emotion, and hence giving rise to in-depth post-call analytics, which can basically give you your CSAT score in a much more comprehensive way, understand the real part of the conversation where there was a tone or a sentiment dip, and then so on and so forth, right? So all this, the way we have made this product is not to rip and replace your present systems, but actually tuck into your present system. So whatever contact center you're using, we are an API-based model. So you can just integrate with your present contact centers with just a few lines of codes. And all of this output either goes back to your CRM systems or back to your contact center software. So we make it super seamless and easy to integrate with the present system just by using conversation intelligence APIs. Just to sum it up, the key takeaways, what we are trying to put out there from this presentation is, first of all, the CX technology leaders should really consider investing in contact center now more than ever, post-pandemic especially. And the three main legs of a customer experience roadmap presently, as we see it, is self-service automation, real-time agent assist, and of course, post-call analytics. And then continuous innovation in the contact center will help retain customer and grow revenue. So that's where I'd like to stop and then hand it over to the Q&A.
That's great, Saahil and Murali. Thank you so much. If there any question, please put it on a chat box or just unmute yourself and ask right now. Hello, everyone. If there any question, please put on your question in your chat box or just unmute yourself and shout out.
Yeah, there is a question about what geographies we are currently focused on. So right now we are focused on English-speaking countries where the conversations are happening in English, US, UK, and India regions, and some in Australia. Accuracy percentage, Saahil, you want to touch on that?
Yeah. So accuracy percentage, on an average, if we give from 85 to 94% of accuracy. Again, there are around 18 AI models running in the background, each of it having its own accuracy percentage. But if that would be the average.
That's great. So we can take one more last question. If anyone have, like, unmute yourself or put in a chat box.
Yeah, we work with a lot of large banks, insurance, and fintech companies. That's the primary industry that we have gone to market with, and we are seeing great traction across the globe.
That's it, Milind.
Thank you.
Saahil, this is Mahesh. I have a quick query. Although I like the concept of connecting this with the overall digital experience of the customer, wanted to understand why you limit only to the contact center. Do you feel the future is going to be more on conversational interfaces, or you intend to add more services as users interact more with the apps, right? I mean, conversation is little part of all of this dealing with the company or the vendor.
Can I take that one, Saahil? See, the definition of a contact center has changed. It is not a room full of people with phones and waiting for the call to happen, right? So the contact center agents are the face and voice of your brand. So whether it is handling outbound sales calls or taking inbound support kind of a conversation, or it could even be around training and exchanging. So there is a lot of convergence happening into a contact center. Like I said, omni-channel, all the chats and email conversations, any conversation that a company has with an external world is dropping into passing through the contact center. That's why
the percentage of connect on the contact center is very low, right? As compared to the overall engagement a customer has with the brand.
Okay, so there are two types of engagement, right? One is the customer's interaction with the brand from a product standpoint, and the customer's interaction with the brand from a conversation standpoint. Our focus is conversation intelligence with AI, trying to get to know more about customer and getting a sense of what is happening with the conversation. For us, conversation is a continuum. It's not a conversation is not a bubble. So every conversation should have a predefined previous context, and then what happened in the previous interaction before you engage with your customer. That's the point.
When we say conversation, we don't just mean phone calls. This can be text messages, email, chatbot, voice bot, anything. So all of this is, taken to one-stop shop, which is Marsview. Yeah.
That's great, Saahil. So one last question on our chat box. Can you throw some light on revenue model?
So revenue model is quite straightforward. So we have an API-based model. So we are one of the first companies to launch an API-based model for conversation intelligence as such, where API-based model is more on usage and consumption of how many minutes and words processed by our AI system. The second part of the model is more of a platform-based model. Sometimes the problems become more complex. We engage at the platform level and orchestrate your entire conversation workflow pipeline through our AI processes. So you get the more of a real-time intelligence and the whole 9 yards from a platform.
That's great, Murali. That's great, Saahil. So with this, we can move forward to our next startup. Thank you so much, Murali, and thanks, Saahil, for joining us today.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Our third startup who is presenting today is Slate.ac. Gaurav, Saraf, co-founder and CEO for Slate. Gaurav, can you hear me out?
Hi.
Hi, Gaurav. Can
Yes.
you see you?
I can hear you. So I'm just going to share my screen. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Sure, Gaurav.
Can you see my screen now with this presentation?
Yes, Gaurav, we can see the screen.
Okay, great. So good evening, everybody. My name is Gaurav Saraf. I'm the founder and CEO of Slate.ac, which is a financial platform targeted towards SMEs. The main purpose the main problem that we are trying to solve for SMEs is that as the owner of an SME, you do not have access to your data unless you get it from your accountant via email in an Excel file or something, because these pieces of information are always sitting inside a system like, say, a Tally, which is not connected to the web, and it is data which is coming from various other sources which do not talk to each other. So for example, invoicing is done on Word or Excel. Tally is then the data from the Excel files or Word files is entered into Tally. When you receive a payment, it goes to your bank and such things. So our goal is to take financial data and make it organized and actionable for SME owners to be able to take quick decisions. So what we have done with this data, okay, my slide has, yeah. So we have released the Slate OS platform, which syncs with Tally to give you, as the owner of a company, a one-time sync, which then keeps your Slate OS updated on your web as well as your mobile screens, and gives you critical pieces of information like your sales, liquidity, receivables, payables, as well as many other reports, which you can only otherwise take if your accountant sends it to you, as an MIS every say once a month. But this information now becomes available to you in the palm of your hand all the time, and it's always updated automatically. So what does Slate offer you as a business owner? You always know what your financial situation position is. It helps you save time because now your accountants don't have to create reports, so you can take decisions faster. You are also ahead on compliances, and we also send you alerts telling you that your GST payments or TDS payments are coming up. So you need to make sure that all the data is with the accountant. Uh, and of course, you're always connected. You can be at home, you can be out, you can be on holiday. You are always connected to the Slate OS system. The Slate OS system also enables you to make payments, collect payments, create invoices, and such things, which then makes it a holistic solution and not just a one-point solution. So as I said, all of these are included. Your accountants are easily able to generate invoices as well. The main features, you get a dashboard which gives you a view of all your financials. You can monitor payables and receivables, which is the lifeblood of any company. Create invoices, ask for collections from your customers. You get alerts and notifications every time you have a critical update. Every time you have you receive payments and send payments, get overdues, you can get updates. And we have a large partner network which provides services as well. For example, ROC compliance, legal compliance. You can ask for loans, credit cards, and such things from verified companies. The sign up process is very simple. All you do is create a login for free and sync your data on Tally, and that's it. It's all for free. You get a 7 to 15-day free trial and you're good to go. So these are some of the screenshots of the reports that you will get. Annual price is $2,499 for 2 users. You get full access to the Slate platform, generate invoices, access the preferred partner network, and you get all the support that you need alongside. This is just a quick testimonial from one of the customers who works with us. And as you can see, quite happy using it. In addition to this, we provide Slate Financial Services, which is a managed services approach where we can actually take over your accounting function and you can outsource it to our team, which is verified and trained by us. And then they can support you with your accounting, with your GST filing, TDS filing, uh, with business registration services, and all the other add-ons that we mentioned a little while earlier. So as you can see, all you have to do is opt for that service, which starts from 1,500 rupees a month. You get a dedicated accountant who will manage your books better than anybody else can manage. We will transfer all that data onto the Slate OS platform. We will work on Tally, and every month you will get spick and span reports. Every week you can get reports which are always updated on the Slate website, on the Slate portal, and stop worrying about your books and focus on your business. I think we already covered that slide. Prices starting from about 1,500 rupees a month, depending on the scope and size of your business, and extremely competitive in this environment. How this differs from your other accountants, we have standard protocols and you don't have to worry about the service quality. We provide consistent service quality. The pricing is transparent. We are fully technology driven. We have the other accountants have all offline systems. They depend on phone calls and emails, whereas we connect you with your accountant through Slate OS and Tally, and data security is guaranteed. There is no loss of privacy, whereas other accountants which are running mom and pop shops, they do not have any privacy and security systems in place. I think we covered this, which is part of Slate OS. The Slate marketplace of verified providers. We have providers providing HR solutions, payroll services, company secretaries, CFO services, valuations, due diligence. We even have offers from Amazon AWS, incubators, and co-working spaces to give you some extra benefits. So that's about us. Open to questions that we may not have covered already.
Thanks, Gaurav. We have one question on chat box from Sachin. Slate
Okay.
connects to business bank's account as well.
Not yet, but we are working to connect with payment providers like say Open or RazorPayX and PayU and Cashfree. We are working with banks, and that will come very soon. And then you will have your bank account live with you wherever you go.
Okay, that's great, Gaurav. So if you have any question, audience, if you have any question, please put your question on chat box or unmute yourself and shout out.
Yeah, Mukesh here from Nishkera. What is the customer size that you are targeting in terms of revenue and other parameters?
So, we have about 5,000 customers right now. They come from various different sizes of companies. Some of these guys would be, they have just started and said, okay, I don't want to worry about anything. I'm just going to use Slate for everything. And then there are others who are using Slate OS. And these are companies, some of them which are even 300 crores in size. Traders, manufacturers, e-commerce companies, services companies, software development, tech startups, just the whole gamut.
Yeah, so it is just in continuation with that. Is it like a system where you have to have a tally system where you integrate it with it, or it can be an independent accounting system?
No, this is not an independent accounting system. We work on top of Tally and provide you all these additional features, which are much more sort of user-friendly and insightful and actionable on top of that.
Okay, thanks.
I have a question if no one's asking.
Sure, please go ahead.
So where exactly is your major market based out of? Is it in India or?
We are an Indian company currently only working with the Indian SME ecosystem.
Okay, and how many SMEs would you say you have already onboarded approximately?
5,000.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So this is like a subscription-based model then?
It's a SaaS model, and we also have managed services. All of the managed services is handled by our franchisees who are trained to work on Slate's protocols for service delivery.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, hi,
Gaurav, I just had a question. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So you also mentioned that you kind of connect the business to marketplace where they can actually seek financial services as well, right?
That's correct.
So from that perspective, is it something that, so I'm just trying to understand how would that work? You will just simply connect somebody to that. So let's say banking and credit requirements are there for a business, right?
Yes.
So would you help streamline that process as well? Because, there is a lot of documentation, etc. also required when these kind of services are actually procured. So do you also provide an interface to, improve the experience of that procurement, so to say, journey, or it's just connecting with the end user or the bank?
So on the marketplace side, the way that we operate is that we have service providers like, as I said, legal, ROC, and such people. And recently we've started partnering with companies for credit cards and prepaid cards. Okay. On the banking and loan side, we have not yet gone there. We plan to go there very soon. Okay. Over there, what we will have is that we will have one or more partners, which will be like a marketplace themselves, which can provide loans to various different types of, SMEs. So, for example, there could be a player which focuses on, let's say, working capital loans for inventory-backed companies, okay, or companies with inventory. There could be others which do not require that kind of security, which works on the basis of your working capital cycles itself. So we are going to partner with them. We have not gotten there yet. And it depends on the service you want. If you want us to prepare paperwork, we will have a plan for that, where you can work with one of our providers who can do the paperwork for you as well. For us, the idea is that this should be a one-stop solution where certain services are provided by our in-house trained teams and others are provided by verified providers where no brand exists as such for you to choose from, and it is usually word of mouth, right?
Okay.
And loans, etc., are going to be provided by players who are going to be very SME friendly and have a differentiated approach to providing loans.
Okay. Yeah. But there's no integrate. Okay, maybe that's a second order question which will come later. Thanks, Gaurav.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks, Chandra. Shreyas, do you have any question?
Yeah, I actually had a very similar question. Understand if you are gonna step into the working capital financing scene and help your SMEs get loans through lenders, and are you looking to create a lender?
Yes, absolutely. The reason we call it Slate.ac is that we can actually, either we can provide our own app, let's call it, for that particular feature or for that particular service, or we can integrate with others.
Got it. I think we should connect offline. I think we have a couple of synergies that could help you in this direction.
Sure. Shreyas, can you tell me the name of the company? I'll make a note of it. And
yeah, I'm from SignZ.
From, sorry?
SignZ, SIGNZY.
Okay, great.
Hey, Gaurav, we can connect. Gaurav, I will connect you with SignZ in person answer. So we have a last question on the chat box. Is Slate has inventory management feature as well?
Yes, we do. We take the data out of Tally and we can show you various reports of your inventory movement, where your inventory is stored, which vendors did you take it from. We have all these things. This is coming out. Actually, the reports are very basic in nature, but in August and September, we're coming with very detailed inventory reports as well.
That's it. So we can take a last question from a chat box. Do you have connectivity only with Tally, or do you also connect with major ERP system like SAP, Oracle, etc.?
No, we do not connect with SAP or Oracle. Our main focus is SMEs, and there, as you know, Tally is the software of choice, especially for accounting. And as I said, accounting is the start of organizing data in any startup or in any SME. We are trying to take that data and organize it and show it to you further, which in a way which is more insightful, more actionable, and support you with all those actions which are required, like payments, etc. So we start with Tally and we will move to others which we see are most popular among the SME ecosystem.
That's good, Gaurav. So we can move forward to our next startup. Thank you so much, Gaurav, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Wishing everyone good health and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gaurav. So with this, I will introduce our next and fourth startup to pitch. So that is ZikZuk. Tarun Bansal, founding member, VP Strategy and Business. Tarun, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi Nitesh. Good evening.
Good evening, Tarun. Over to you, Tarun. Okay.
All right, thank you very much. Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Tarun Bansal, and I'm part of ZikZuk. I'm one of the founding members, and I head strategy and business at ZikZuk. So at ZikZuk, we are empowering SMEs to focus on business growth by streamlining their cash flows. So basically, two challenges that we are solving for the SMEs is, first is the cash flow management, and second is the enablement of the contextual credit. So when I say contextual credit, I mean, our platform has the view of the entire cash flows of the SME, and the platform is in a very beautiful position to exactly pinpoint where the challenges are in terms of the cash flows, and where an SME would need a credit to beat this cash crunch, right? So that's what I meant by contextual credit. And these two problems, this concept of managing the cash flows and credit basically, originated from the challenges that we have faced as, as SME owners in our previous organizations. So we've seen that SMEs always grapple with the issue of managing their receivables, their payables, of course, and eventually the cash flows. So this has been a big problem, and we've seen, across, especially in this COVID times, in last couple of years, that SMEs have unfortunately been shut, not because of their profits, but because of their cash flow issues, right? So now this becomes a very, pertinent problem to be solved, specifically in the Indian context. And as we speak about, 64 million MSMEs, we've got 10 to 11 million who does any sort of accounting in India, who've got an accounting software. And then around 12.5 million SMEs are under the GST network. So there's a massive base, there's a massive, in terms of the market available for this problem to be solved for the SME sector. And one of the things, I'm sure, SME, most of the startups are SME owners. We've seen that, and specifically in the manufacturing and trading sector, we've seen this. Talk to any SME, how do they manage their cash flows, or the main business numbers is the white slips that they hold into their pockets, right? You must have seen this in, in the SME fraternity, that they have these white slips that they hold, right? Or most of the numbers, you ask them who are your top 5 customers, they would know all that by their heart. So it's all in their mind. And the third area, what they use is some sort of accounting software, which is basically operated by an accountant. He's not even a CA, right? His job is just to manage that accounting software. So these are the challenges in the industry, specifically in the MSME sector that we are solving. And when we solve this through our platform, which we call as BFM, Business Finance Manager, right, which beautifully integrates with the accounting software and the banking ecosystem of the SME to help them to, of course, collect their payments faster, right? That helps them to manage their working capital, reduce their debts, and of course, it frees up their time that would have been anyways lost in following up with their customers, right? Second is their cash flow projections. We enable the contextual credit on the platform for the SME owners. And the last but not the least is basically you track your business on the go, right? The platform is available on web and mobile. So it gives an opportunity for any SME owner to track his business on the go, anytime, anywhere, and on any device. So with this background, I would quickly move on to a quick demo of the platform, since the platform is live. So I'll take this opportunity to demo the platform. So please let me know, Nitesh, if my screen is visible, please.
Yes, Tarun, it is visible. Please go ahead.
Okay. All right, great. So this is, this is the front end of the platform. At the back end, this platform beautifully integrates with the accounting software of any SME, right? To start with, it's Tally, and I've heard, the last 5 minutes of the last pitch, and the gentleman also was talking about, integration with Tally. So of course, this platform also integrates with Tally and other accounting softwares, but the first accounting software is Tally just because the market share that Tally has in Indian market, right? We're talking about, around 2 million SMEs who use licensed version of Tally. And of course, there have been reports which says that equally we have double of the licensed version numbers in terms of the pirated that use, right? So that's a big market. So anyways, once you connect your platform to the accounting software, right? This gives you a view of your cash flows in terms of your bank balance, receipts, payments, and net cash flows. This is something that you can customize if you want to have a view of last 12 months, 6 months, and 30 days, right? You click on the net cash flows, it gives you a month-on-month movement of cash in terms of the receipts and payments that you have received, right? So it gives you a very beautiful view of how your cash flow movement has been throughout the year in particular months. And if you want to go down, you just go in receipts, the money that you have received from which customer. It gives you a month-wise view as well as the view of your payments as well. Right, very powerful for any SME owner to know how his cash flows have fared over a year, right? And if you move further, you can, SME can have an overview of his sales, purchase, receivables, payables, the entire view. And on the right-hand side, this is very, important for any SME in terms of to know what his receivables, payables, or compliances are for any particular day. Right, so we've just color-coded date-wise just to give him a very beautiful view of what his receivables, payables, or compliances are on which date. For example, on 30th of this month, he knows that there is a TCS certificate date due for the last quarter. On 31st of this month, there is a TDS return for the last quarter that that is due. So it gives a view of the SME owner to basically keep track of their compliances. So moving on, next is sales. Of course, very important for any SME owner to know what his sales has been, and it gives you a beautiful view of how his sales has fared. We are putting a lot of nudges on the platform that basically compares the sales, current sales versus the previous year sales, and to give him a view of what he currently doesn't have. Right, in terms of what is who are his top 5 customers, in terms of the total sales that they do, who are the top 5 items that he sells, what's the profit margin that he makes. All that intel that basically makes our SME smart and help him to increase his sales is what this platform enables for them. Next is purchase, which is just an opposite of sales. In terms of managing their suppliers. And so this guy has done the total purchases, what's the debit note and the net purchase that he has, right? And the important thing, the important module for any SME owner is his receivables. And as this platform is live, and this has been very warmly appreciated by the SME owners in terms of how they can manage their entire receivables. So this gives a beautiful view of their entire receivables, broken into what is not due and what is overdue. So anything which is into the credit period gets into the not due bucket, and anything which has crossed the credit period goes into overdue. And then we do a very beautiful aging analysis in terms of number of days. So this gives a very beautiful view for any SME owner to know which outstanding invoices are in which bucket. Right, he can click on his customers, he can get a deep view of what his total receivables are, what's the average collection days with this customer, when was the last payment received, and all the open invoices with this with this customer, right? So that's on receivables. One important feature here is the scheduled reminders that basically helps time to any SME, for any SME owner to stop following up, and platform does this very beautifully. So they can set up the reminders before the due date in terms of what the frequency of days when they want to send the reminders, to whom they want to send the reminder, and what's the mode. It can be SMS, email, WhatsApp, or 3 of them. So they just select, and platform would start sending reminders to all the 3 modes, and they can set up the time as well. Same goes for after due date. Right, and then there's a template that we have set. Of course, SME owner can edit and change the template and customize it. So once he sets this up on the reminders, he just has to toggle this to on, and this customer would start receiving the reminders as per the frequency and as per the rules that he has set. Also, he can add the notes here on the last conversations that he has had with this customer. Right. So that's on the receivables side. Payables basically gives the view of the suppliers to the SME, right? Next is banking, very important. As of now, we have taken this info from the accounting software, so it's already reconciled. But as we move, we'll have the APIs from different banks on the platform, right? That basically helps us to reconcile on the platform itself for the customer. That's WIP. But this again is a very good view that that an SME owner has in terms of the banking details of what's his cash in hand, what's the bank balance that he has, and of course he can customize it and can see his for any period, and then there is a global filter that he could set up. And he can go inside, any of his bank accounts. He can just have a view of what they have done. He can download the statements and get the entire view here. So that's on the banking side, and of course the reports in terms of his morning and evening reports. He can see P&L, balance sheet, day book is something that SMEs track very closely, right? So he gets the view of the day book in terms of all the transaction that has happened on that day. And of course, last but not the least is the settings that basically helps him to set up this, right? In terms of what his profile is, he can add his team member details here in terms of their name, their designations, which team they are from, their email ID, and their WhatsApp. And of course, he can add multiple users onto the platform, basically to give access to his promoters, to his colleagues in the company. So he can add the name, email ID, contact, and can give permissions as well to them. So that's on the platform. And parallelly, we've started lending also, which we say the contextual credit. We've started lending on the cards. So we give credit line on the cards to the SME owners, basically looking at what their cash flow position is. So that's about us in summary. I would say that we are helping SME owners to really focus on their business, what they are good at, and rest of the business finance would be completely and seamlessly managed by this platform, which beautifully integrates with their accounting and their banking, and gives them a view of their entire business, as well as credit and the reconciliation that they could enable through the platform. Right. So thank you very much. That's all from my side.
Thank you so much, Tarun. Audience, if you have any question, please put your question on chat box or just mail us.
Yeah, hi, this is Mukesh from Nishkera. I wanted to ask, what is the current customer base you have? And in terms of providing credit and working loan kind of facilities, how much of is being catered by you, and whether you are looking for partners who can help you out with your customers on that front?
Hi Mukesh, thank you very much. Yeah, sure, definitely. Look, we extensively work with banks and NBFCs as of now. In terms of the card, we've launched a co-branded card also with one of the private sector banks, and of course there are multiple variants of that. And the brand name is, you can just check our website. It's called Founders Card, right? So Founders Card is the brand name for all our card products. And happy to discuss. Look, there's a big opportunity. We've got a few hundred customers already onto the platform, and we have the ability to create the customized scorecards for our partner banks and NBFCs, and basically help in the cash flow based lending.
Okay, sure. Then we can connect offline and we'll take it further.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mukesh. Thank you, Tarun. We have another question on chat box. What's the differentiation from other players like RPX, Open, etc.?
Look, I won't get into in terms of why we are better or why they are better. But I would say, look, everybody has has picked a problem to solve. So for us, what we are solving is their cash flows problems, right? That's the only problem that we understand about the SMEs. And that's the problem that we are solving. And of course, once we grow, once we have cash flows solved from the for the SME, we would have multiple opportunities, and we would say that everything is coming together at some point of time. So from our perspective, the two things that we do beautifully is the cash flow management, and second is the enabling credit at the time of the need of the SME.
Another question is from Nilesh. Lending is done to anchor/merchant or agent.
Sorry, lending is done to
anchor, merchant or agent.
Merchant or agent. So it's on the SME. Any SME who's on our platform, he could be a merchant. He could be an agent. As long as he's on our platform, he integrates his, he syncs his accounting software with our platform, becomes our customer. And we enable lending for all of them.
Okay, that's great, Tarun.
Yeah, one more question from my side. Which geographical locations you are catering to right now?
Sorry, I didn't get it.
Yeah, which geographical locations you are catering to right now?
Across India.
Okay, thank you.
It just takes us 15 minutes to sync this platform with accounting software. So, we can enable this at any part of India.
Okay, great. Thank you.
That's great, Mukesh. Thank you, Tarun, for this whole presentation. We can move up further with this another presentation from Hesa. Vamsi Udayagiri, founder and CEO from Hesa Technology. Vamsi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Please go ahead. Over to you, ma'am.
Yes. Hello?
Yeah, Vamsi, we can hear you. Over to you.
Yeah. So should I share the screen and do that? So
yes, please go ahead. Yes, we can see the screen.
yeah, okay. So yeah, hi, I'm Vamsi Udayagiri, founder of Hesa. We are a rural tech organization, and we are redefining the way commerce is being done at rural. Have you ever, luckily we're all in this group, have access to a lot of product services. We have all internet at our disposal. But if you see someone from a deep rural and a farmer lady who has actually have a lot of dependencies on her day-to-day needs, like somebody has to deposit money, somebody has to take a loan, buy an insurance, they have to sell agri produce. There are like multiple things. As a rural consumer, they have a lot of dependencies to go to a nearby bank or a Grameen bank or a district headquarters block or whatever. So there are a lot of these problems that in a day-to-day life these people facing, and there are like 85 crore people like them across 6.5 lakh villages in India, spread across tier 5 and 6. If you see what is the main problem because of this entire thing, why they have been left out, inaccessible, because businesses are not able to reach out to these consumers. There are a lot of corporates, agri-techs, fintechs who are coming with beautiful solutions, but today the major challenge is your consumer, if he is a rural consumer, is not accessing your tech platform. So for a business to venture into a village of, let's say, 1,000 population, because India has 2.7 lakh villages with less than 5,000 population, where the cost of my operation versus the revenues that I can generate doesn't match. So this is where there is a huge problem, because consumers are not having right access to the product services. Businesses not able to reach out to them because of a lot of problems like supply chain constraints, time to market, identifying the right customer, unviable unit economics. So based on all these things, I don't know what okay. So yeah, based on all these things, that's the major problem in terms of the gap between the the supply and demand for the rural. While a lot of things have changed in urban, because if you see 20 years back, it's all physical in urban even, but over the last 10 years, it moved from physical to digital. Then now it's a whole lot of a social element added to that and all. But unfortunately, in rural, from beginning, it is all physical and social, because entire relation is driven by trust and relationship in rural. But the one thing which is not having the right access is the digital way. So to solve this entire problem of the consumer not able to access the right financial or any services, or the business not able to reach out to the rural consumer, this is where HESA comes in creating a unified platform for Bharat, rural India, in terms of bringing these three elements together, because we're talking about a tech platform which integrates almost any need of a customer. Like for example, in terms of all their banking needs, financial needs, insurance, loans, all embedded into a one platform where we integrate with multiple APIs. This is being offered to a person physically present in a village and who has a social connect in terms of relationship and trust. So that's how we created this model. So we, Hesa, are a unified platform for all the needs where businesses can reach out to the consumers. Consumers can actually avail any of these services by just going to a Hesathi or a village level entrepreneur who is kind of a genie, who has all the services that he wants, because we have embedded some 40 odd solutions into one platform, right from I want to do money transfer, I want to do bill payment, I want to recharge, I want to take a loan, insurance, agri inputs, products, all these things. Because the entire problem of unviable economics is what we are solving it, because today, see, the consumer is the same, now he's going to 10 different places. But in our platform, he just goes to a Hesati, who is kind of a genie. He has an app through which he can allow me to, reach out to some 10, 15 different services at one place. So that's how we are solving this unviable unit economics. Having said that, we have different personas of people, because every person has a target group in terms of where he can influence or where he is connected to. So we typically identify people who know how to use a smartphone, a 7th class kind of a pass, and different set of people like women group members, local youth, kirana stores, truck drivers, progressive farmers, because as I said, everybody has their own target segment. Again, if I have to add the point, if a person takes a one product line or a service line to a village of 1,000, his economics doesn't work out. So here we are talking about a person taking 4 or 5 different services in terms of whatever he can offer as a relation and trust with the fellow consumers. So if I have to summarize in one sentence, we are an integrated marketplace, connecting both them. So that means today, if I am a farmer, I'm a consumer first, so I can come to a Hesati, avail any of my banking need, financial needs, insurance, loans. I can buy agri inputs, I can sell my agri produce, I can buy kitchen appliances for my home. So it's an end-to-end marketplace connecting both them, because we do buy and sell on this platform. So that's how we have built this entire platform. And as I said, we have integrated many solutions like the banking, financial, agri, and multiple services there. So yeah, what makes us the perfect rural partner? Because there are a lot of players, a lot of banking corresponding models, a lot of fintech solutions, a lot of government service center models are there. But these are all one product line, service line, which doesn't make the viable unit economics. Or these are all B2C models where, as a consumer, I go to a particular service to avail service. But here we are talking about a buy and sell platforms, highly influenced by social commerce, because almost kind of for every 300 households, there is a Hesati mapped in terms of offering multiple services, asset light model, and a business model of offering, taking a business to, the rural consumer is our advantage. And we being a unified platform for all the needs there. So yeah, so we're working with large organizations. In any segment, you take a top 1 or 2 players. So like they are partnering with us because that's the problem that we are solving for them. We are working with Reliance, we are working with Digit, we are working with Waycool, Walmart, Metro, Mahindra. So there are a lot of brands that we are working in terms of connecting their product services through APIs to the rural consumers. So we launched this platform April 2020. So we are 14 months old in the system. So we have done close to 200 crores of GMV, out of which 50 crores is our gross revenue, and contributed from agri, fintech, and services. Though GMV from fintech will be higher, but as the margins are lesser, it's a multi-tier commerce model. So that's how we have built. Currently, we are present in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and just started in Karnataka. We have almost reached to 10,000 villages with 10 lakh rural consumers, and we have been growing, consistently at a 25% now. So this year we have very aggressive plans. So we have signed up with state governments of all these 3 states in terms of creating micro entrepreneurs, tied up with a lot of microfinance, dairy organizations in terms of doing their collections, payments, disbursements, financial services, and all. So as I said, it's a multi-tier commerce model. So we have margins ranging from 0.1% to 20%. So that's how this multi-tier commerce model works. So ours is a transaction-based revenue model. So that means any transaction happens in our platform, we make money and our Hesa makes money. So yeah, this year we're chasing almost a 1,200 crore GMV through our platform. Recently, we have raised our pre-series round of 2 million 2 months back, and we're already expanding. And currently, we're already in discussions to raise 12 million for our next Series A round. Predominantly because we have figured out, we have decoded this model. Now we wanted to scale this model entire to around 8 to 10 major states of India in terms of our hiring, tech, and the marketing. So I think that's about our model. In terms of my specific ask for this forum, definitely as ours is a collaborative model, we're looking for a lot of integrations in terms of a lot of solutions whom we can tie up with in terms of taking their solutions to the rural consumers, trying to work with certain API providers or banks who can actually tie up with us in terms of offering services. Because today we work with a lot of banks, a lot of insurance companies, in terms of taking their doing their KYC, doing their post-harvest loans KYC or loans insurances. So there is a whole lot of a thing our VLE network, our village level entrepreneur network can do. So yeah, other than the funds, I think my keen interest would be to ask for certain right tie-ups which can help us to scale this entire model. Yeah, so thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Vamsi, for this whole presentation. Audience, if you have any questions, please shoot out on our.
Yeah, Vamsi Mukesh here from Nishkera. Just wanted to know, like, in terms of investment opportunity that you offers to different rural customers, what kind of products you are looking into other than like loans and insurance, and what kind of tie-ups you are looking for?
Sure. As you said about insurance, I mean loans and insurance. So we tied up with GoDizit and Gram Cover. We sell almost 4,000 insurance policies on livestock, crop. Just started 2 months back, and we are scaling it up. Coming to the loans, we are looking at integrating a couple of players in terms of especially the crop loans, the consumer loans, two-wheeler loans. And all our VLEs, at least 30% of them are retail stores, so they also look for a lot of retail loans and all. So that's on the loans aspect of it. But other than that, as I said, a lot of in fact, somebody is asking what has been the use case with the life insurance company. So there are 2-3 examples I can give you. So as I said, we are working with HDFC Life, where see, the way we have built our model is, one, there is a person in a village who is physically present and connected on the platform and who has an influence. Inside, this Hesa becomes an enabler. So today, HDFC Life pays us almost like 7-8 lakhs per month for creating visibility for their brand in rural. ICICI Lombard pays a lot of, like, there are some 4 or 5 financial banking institutions pay us amount to do KYC, create their visibility, because through our app actually we do a lot of surveys, samplings, and events for these brands in the rural. And coming to the transactions wise, so because as the Hesa is physically present in the village, after enabling that brand in the village by creating awareness, if a consumer wants to avail certain products, as I said, we sell almost 3,000-4,000 of insurance policies. We do a lot of banking, financial services. We are just tying up with loans. We are talking to Simply or a few companies for the savings. There are a lot of chip fund companies, tech players who are coming in. So anything a rural consumer would need in terms of his collections, disbursements, payments, savings, loans, that would be an interesting tie-up for us.
Yeah, continuation is my question. Like, have you done some kind of a study or categorization of your customer in terms of their income, wherein like the kind of products they will be buying depends upon, in terms of investment, depend upon the capabilities and all those things, because that opens up the market for large number of products, right? So a few people can just go for loans, for working capital requirement, and for insurance, their crops and all those things. But then there can be customers who may not be aware, but then they have the money to invest into various financial products. So do you have that information? Because we as a fintech company would definitely like to connect with you on those areas.
Definitely, yes. Say that is where our platform, as I said, one is physically, but yeah, through digitally, our Hesati or a VLE, the moment consumer walks in, there is an Aadhaar or a mobile number mapping that is done, and today we have those insights of the. See, our advantage is we almost touch the consumer on a 360 degrees. So because the same customer today, at an average, we have 7 to 8 touch points because he wants to buy, sell, pay bills, so a lot of things. So yes, I think yeah, with whatever limited last 8-9 months, we have definitely certain data. But yes, I think this is the entire data based on which we are driving it. And as I said today, for a Wipro consumer care brand, for any village with less than 3,000 population, we are doing their sampling, surveying, survey for 5,000 villages, 10,000 villages. So there is a lot of insights on the consumer data that we are definitely having on with, which can be a great advantage for a lot of the businesses.
Okay, thank you. I will connect with you offline because we have to discuss more about the financial education and literacy part also. Probably we can connect offline and do that.
Sure, definitely.
Sure, Mukesh. So, Vamsi, we have two questions, two last questions to ask. One is, how easy is language and local customization?
Yeah, so definitely language plays a major role in our Indian market. Currently, we are in English. A month from now, we are actually launching all the Indian languages. The work is going on, and yeah, so on the language, that is thing. Definitely, language is needed. And coming to local customization, see the thing, as I said. The way the platform is built isn't such an easy way. In fact, we have very basic workflows, like I want to do a bill payment, I want to do certain things, and so it has been, it's like a prepaid wallet model where I'm a Hesati. Let's say I load 1,000 rupees into my wallet. Now I have 10 integrations that Hesa has already done, let's say with one Open Financial or Airtel Payments Bank or Mahindra or whatever, Amazon. So it easily navigates through this entire thing, and the respective transaction happens. So I think in terms of the localization and customization, and we have a lot of these integrations with the WhatsApp messages on the screen or notification that makes the life easier for the Hesa.
That's great. So last question, when did you start this platform and what's your net take rate and current burn?
See, as I said, we ideated this platform in July 2019, and we developed the platform till December 2019. We did pilot in 3 districts till April 2020 in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. And from April 2020 is when the platform is live. So as I said, we are 14-month-old in the market. But before that, we as an organization we have 9 to 10 years of rural experience, where last 10 years we have been working with a lot of brands in terms of their rural activations, promotions. So we have been in rural for last 10 years, working with a lot of agri communities, farmers, a lot of employment segments, and also yeah, with that experience and this platform is how we are scaling this. And coming to the current net take rate and burn rate, as I said, recently we did the fundraise, and by the time actually we were in break even because of our model in terms of offering multiple services. We were in break even. The only net rate is while we are expanding to new geography, because for us each zone is a unit. For us, zone is a combination of 3 to 4 districts put together. So anywhere between 4 to 5 months it takes to a break even. So that means if we open in a new join today, I think 5 months from now we are break even. So current burn, as I said, after our fundraise, we just started expanding into 2-3 more geographies, and also currently we are at a 35-40 lakhs of net burn.
That's great. With that, last we have a message for you. Great work, Vamsi. Rural market are tough, and it's great to see you succeeding. There's a chat message from Neha.
Thank you. Thanks, Neha, and thanks everyone for the.
Thank you, Vamsi, for this wholesome presentation. With this, we can move further to our next presentation from Whrrl. Ashish Anand, founder of Whrrl. Ashish, over to you.
So can I stay in this, or should I?
You can stay, listen to other
okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vamsi.
Hey, hi everyone. I'm Ashish Anand, co-founder of Whrrl. We are a blockchain fintech startup focused on warehouse receipt or commodity finance business, where we are reducing the risk for the banks and automating the entire system. So who we are? We are India's largest blockchain platform, globally the first blockchain platform in agri-financing and Asia's first and only blockchain platform for any sort of asset-backed lending. India's largest platform, blockchain platform, we are currently present in 1,400 warehouses across 5 states of India, have a GMV of more than 4,000 crore on the platform, that is around $500 million plus. And we have credit line from our lending partnership of more than 2,000 crore rupee on the platform with a consolidated 2 million metric ton of warehousing capacity, the largest in India on any sort of single platform. We are working with governments, we are working with private sector warehouses, we work with lenders in both banking and non-banking space, and have won accolades across the globe, both in India as well as outside of India. Whrrl has been created by a team of professionals from finance as well as information technology background who have more than a couple of decades of experience each in their chosen field, and is supported by advisors and mentors both from Silicon Valley as well as in the financial inclusion space in India. So before we go much into what we do, I would just like to talk about the product, which is warehouse receipt financing. One of the simplest products, and it is about both rural as well as industrial applications. So the product is a commodity. Anybody who is an owner of commodity, for example, in agri commodity space, a farmer or a trader or a mill, or in non-agri, for example, metal and mining space, a miner, or for example, in a refinery in a gold segment, or a crude oil refinery in crude oil segment. Anybody who is an owner of the asset deposits commodities which they own in a third-party warehouse. So that's the important differentiation in warehouse receipt finance versus in inventory finance. Commodities are deposited in third-party warehouses where there is a mechanism of ensuring quantity, quality, and other checks by the banks or their representatives. And based upon that, the bank give loan. So a secured lending in the secured lending product in the space of commodity finance supply chain. And that's where we are working, and why and what so. So before we talk about the problems the sector faces, and continuously on a regular basis, this industry has been facing frauds across the globe. Last year, the banks cumulatively lost around $12 billion in warehouse receipt finance across the globe. And then that is the problem we are solving for the banks. And then because they keep losing money, they rely upon intermediary, which certainly has not helped much. They also have huge concentrated portfolio into this sector where the number of clients are very less. We are trying to democratize and reduce that. And also the system, despite all the mechanization which is taking place across the global banking system, unfortunately, this is one system which still today remains highly manual. And that is where we use blockchain and enabling technologies to solve these problems for the lenders. And as I mentioned, after this frauds which keep taking place, bankers have their own problems. They keep reducing their exposure, and actually speaking, their income also keeps going down. So what we are trying to strive is that we are trying to strive this problem, solving this problem, so that more capital is available to the borrowers as well. Our platform has 3 components. It's a 100% blockchain-based electronic warehouse receipt issuance platform, as well as the entire transaction takes place on the same platform. We have a digital lending application attached to it. And we also have a trading platform attached to it, which we have recently developed for trading of commodities stored in the warehouses itself, which will enable the banks to actually take forward warehouse receipt finance to a digital receivable finance as well. As I mentioned, it's an entirely integrated platform where we, on the back end, we have where you can see the blockchain on the right-hand side. We have the banks, the warehouses, and they're connected directly. There is no need of a third-party depository or repository to come into place for this purpose. And using this blockchain, as well as the connected digital lending solutions, the digital lending mobile app to it, and the commodity trading platform, we are able to solve the major problem for the lenders, as well as for the borrowers. For the lenders, by using blockchain, we solve the problem of duplicate or forged receipt through immutability. The major problem with the banks in this space is multiple lending, and billions of dollars of frauds keep taking place in multiple lending. Using blockchains or no double spend property, we are able to solve that 100%. Also, banks have a major ghost collateral problem, no collateral and lending against that, or one collateral and 10 lendings against that. So banks have been facing those problems using blockchain, and by bringing warehouses on the same platform, which is a shared ledger between the banks and the warehouses, we ensure that there is no lending beyond the warehouse capacity. So that limits the risk in the ghost collateral platform. Along with that, as I mentioned, there is no repository or depository, so intermediation cost goes down. The system is 100% paperless and personless from the origin. Without any, even an email is not needed to be sent to bank and the warehouses of the borrowers. So the manual system is 100% eliminated. And by using a digital lending platform, we are enabling the banks to lend small ticket size loans as well, thereby reducing their concentration risk. We offer a 100% integrated solution, which comes with a B2B blockchain platform, which is a transaction processing platform. Customer acquisition comes with that because the warehouses are on the platform. Anything coming to the warehouse becomes a potential lending opportunity for the banks. And the underwriting process, as well as the agreement disbursement and the collection process, we have made 100% automated as well. And I mentioned earlier, with the trading platform, both collections and the receivable finance will be available to the banks. So that way, we offer the banks the opportunity to reduce their risk, reduce their cost structure by way of digital embedded finance through warehouses in itself, and also give them an opportunity to expand into secured agriculture lending in India, as well as in commodity finance outside of India as well. We are looking to partner with banks and NBFCs, whoever is the lender, wherein we can help them reach their priority sector targets. We can help them go into value chain financing in the agriculture space, and all of this through embedded finance at the warehouse, without need of having a branch or without need of having an access or a manpower or a manforce in the far-fetched rural areas. So this is all from my side. Thanks a lot, and I'm open to questions.
Thank you, Ashish. If anyone have questions, please unmute yourself. I'll put it in a chat box. Audience, if you have any questions, please unmute yourself.
I think not many questions today.
We have one question in a chat box.
Okay.
Aman, how many worth of loans being processed and what's the revenue?
We have processed in last 6 months, when we started lending, we have processed more than $2 million of loans on the platform. And our revenue is more than $200,000.
That's
great. That is our net revenue after all the cost.
Okay, that's great. Anyone have any question, other question? I can move forward. Okay, with this, we can move forward there. If anyone have any question, please put on a chat box. We can take it forward to Ashish directly. Thank you so much, Ashish, for this presentation.
Sure, thanks everyone.
Thank you. With this, we have moved to further. Our seventh startup we are pitching today is TraceX Technology. Anil Nadig, co-founder. Anil, can you hear me?
Hi, good evening, everybody. Nice to be here. Thank you.
What do you, Anil?
Great, thank you. Let me quickly share the screen. Can you confirm if you're able to see the screen?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Wonderful. Thank you all for giving us the opportunity to be here. It's also been wonderful to listen to all the other startups and the great work that they're doing. So let me quickly start off. TraceX is digitizing the agri supply chain for a safer, transparent, and traceable supply chain. I'm Anil, Nadig, co-founder here at TraceX Technologies. So when you look at the challenges in the agri ecosystem, I think what we are all here to offer is to see how we can make the entire process seamless for everybody involved. So as a team, we are very proud of the work that we have done so far. With my partner Srivatsa and me, we bring significant experience both in technology as well as the domain experience. Manu and Raghav bring in the core management team with which we've been operating. We've also been fortunate to win a few awards and recognitions through our journey here. So if you look at from a consumer expectation perspective, consumers are willing to switch brands when they look at when the brands are very transparent in terms of the claims that they make. Claims be it how fresh the produce is, for example, or how ethical the brand is, and so on, right? And how safe it is to consume. And significant portion of the consumers also look at in-depth information about the products itself. Right? So those are key drivers from a consumer perspective, and you can see the D2C wave also taking significant traction in the due to the pandemic as well. And when you look at from a brand perspective, it's not easy to bring credibility to the claims that they make, mainly because the supply chains in India especially are primarily smallholder driven, lacks transparency and trust. There is no ability to conveniently or easily be able to identify all the participants in the chain itself, and very hard for everybody to come and collaboratively work towards a common objective. So there is a lot of opacity in the entire chain. So take the case of, for example, a coffee, which is being purchased by a consumer, and the brand is making a claim that it is the freshest coffee or the strongest coffee or brewed in such a way or grown in the hills of, let's say, in this particular region and so on. And when you look at all of that stuff, just imagine the entire chain that needs to be connected, right from the farmer to the plantation to how it is processed, storage in the processed in the mill, then trading, then ultimately roasting, distribution, and all of these things. So it's quite complex, and that's where compromise across the chain happens, and food safety and compliance also becomes a major challenge. And so what we do as an organization is through our TraceX blockchain network, bring all the participants in the supply chain onto the network so that we create a shared digital ledger across which all the participants from the farmer to aggregator to processor, the entire chain gets connected so that the entire information is organized, secure, auditable, and verifiable. And all the relevant information across the chain is shared on the blockchain network. So we are a SaaS platform. We have a few major components through which we make this happen. We have our digitization tool set primarily for the pre-harvest management, which covers the farmer ecosystem, the production ecosystem, digitization of the farmlands, all of that. Typically, this is where a lot of our field partners leverage the technology. It's an Android-based application, works in multiple languages, works in offline as well. And then we have the post-harvest modules, which are primarily used by agri and food businesses to manage their entire quality post-harvest and aggregation and distribution processes. And finally, there's traceability, which is derived directly from the blockchain. And all of the information across the chain with multiple participants, the data is independently and immutably stored so that at any point in time, anybody making the claim can conveniently and easily verify that. We work across, we are a B2B2F or B2B2C type of a model. So we work with quite a few brands and agri-businesses and as well as governments, and bringing transparency and traceability across the entire supply chain. I'll walk you through a few use cases to illustrate how the value chain digitization and traceability works for us. Working with a contract farming company in the hills of Nilgiris, the entire chain from production, which is distribution of the saplings, to the entire agronomy advisory, to the production tracking, the harvest, and finally the produce coming onto the into the crate. In this case, the product is an iceberg lettuce. It gets supplied to most of the burgers that you eat today. The entire chain gets digitized through our platform, and at every step, all of the information from digitization of the farmer, the land holding, the package of practices, the advisory that is given out, all of that is captured on the system. And once the harvest is done, the company uses that to make sure that the entire quality parameters for each of the batches is tested, and that is completely updated onto the network as well. And finally, the shipping is done, and with a QR code printed on every crate here in this case. And at any point in time, you can conveniently track and trace the produce, the quality. And from an organization perspective, that helps them drive efficiency. And also, if any batch there is a problem, they can track and trace it back to its complete origin. So this kind of brings in a lot of efficiency and drives trust across the chain. This is how all of the information that is available on the provenance of the data is visible across the chain. Right? On a technology platform perspective, so we have our TraceX blockchain network, and we offer the entire full stack solution as well, which is the digitization part, as well as the blockchain post-harvest network. Or many of the customers are also starting to leverage just the blockchain network when they have their own digitization tool sets or other systems like ERP and other devices that they already work with. So we can also integrate that. So for our full stack solution is available for the agri and food business. So mainly in agri, fruits and vegetables, field crops, seeds, traceability of seeds. For other chains like poultry, dairy, we've already integrated the platform with other digitization tool sets, as well as other ERP modules that are available in the market. And it's very it's quite convenient for organizations to start using or participating in our network very easily. Yeah, and just a flavor of different types of traceability that we've been able to achieve. This is with a large agribusiness in India for export of basmati rice. Entire chain from production, harvest, processing to ultimately reaching the consumer. The entire chain is digitized. We have multiple participants in the chain. One partner doing agronomy, another partner, which is one of the world's largest testing laboratories. They actually test every batch of the paddy and then certify, and only then the procurement happens through the system. So, and that report is also independently available on the blockchain network for people to conveniently verify, leading to one impact on the farmer side, as well as ensuring the agribusinesses can build trust with their consumers. We work across other value chains as well, this is chili traceability, farm to factory, across 1,000 farmers that we're working for sustainable production and consumption of aflatoxin-free chilies. And this is a recent project that we've done on the dairy value chain, where the entire chain, right from the dairy producer to the collection center, chiller, plant, and finally the produce, various dairy products that come through the chain is all traced through our blockchain network. And the brands are able to make that convenient, that strong statement and claim in terms of what they stand for, be it sustainable ecosystems, supporting sustainable ecosystems, doing fair trade, or talking about how clean and transparent and safe their supply chains are, or also talking about how safe the food itself is. There is no antibiotics or no foreign material in the produce itself, and those are things that the consumers are paying a lot of attention to now. Right? Now, this is with an emerging coffee brand where every cup of coffee that goes out, or every bag of coffee that's roasted, the entire chain is digitized and onto our network, allowing the brand to make the claims and back it up with the data. So that helps build a lot of consumer trust and differentiation of the product in the market. This is with a baby food brand where they talk about the entire story of their product, right from where it is sourced from, how it is processed to, and how freshly it is produced and made to order, and so on. So with mothers who are very, very conscious about the quality of the food that come in, they're able to conveniently verify the claims that the brand is able to make independently, right? So this is what is helping them drive consumer adoption significantly. Working with the government, we've been able to help them export an Indian variety of banana across to other countries, right from the farmer all the way till it goes to the supermarket shelf in another country. Every box of banana has a QR code which talks about the entire provenance and the journey of the food on our platform. Right, seed traceability, working again with another government. Every packet of paddy seed that that the farmers are getting is all labeled and tracked on our system. So this helps avoid spurious seeds, fraudulent practices in the chain, and then also guarantees a lot of things that for the farmer, like germination, percentage of the seed variety itself. So they're guaranteed of their income with using platform like ours. And similarly, we're working with a few other opportunities in this space as well to make other agri input and other value chains traceable. This is a seed supply chain traceability end-to-end that we are able to provide right from the farmer all the way till the seed finally goes out in a bag, which is labeled. Working across multiple value chains, we are able to cover a lot of the agri and food space already. We're always looking for partners and brands to join hands in this journey to make supply chains clean, transparent, and traceable. And so thank you for that. I'll probably just flash a few screens on our product and happy to take questions as well. Yeah, thank you.
Sure, Anil. Thank you so much. If anyone have a question, please unmute yourself or put on your chat box.
Yeah, hi. My name is Brijesh.
Hi, Ashish. Tell me.
Hi. My question is that all this, the network, the information which is going into the your system is a image oriented, right? And there are, like, if we are taking images of fruits, vegetables, and putting it into the network, how do it is differentiated, like two same looking apples getting into the network through an image, and then the identification happens? And my second question is that it's a QR. Like if a QR is generated with certain data and printed, and how do you ensure that it goes back to the same bag which it is supposed to? What if that QR is stuck, is pasted onto any substandard packet?
Yeah, good question. See, it is not just image based, it's a network. So what happens is when we build our network, we look at what outcome you want to achieve, and based on that, the right participants in the chain are identified. So I was talking about the basmati value chain, because unless there is certainty on the outcome, if you are exporting to some other country, you are basically taking a big risk. on the entire chain. So that's where you have participants like the Krishi Satis on the ground who are actually producing the rice, to the agribusiness field officers who are monitoring, to the input provider who is actually providing only the certified input, to testing laboratory which is actually testing every batch. So there is a lot of certainty in the chain that is built out. So depending on what outcome you want to do, you have to make sure that the chain gets constructed accordingly. So if you're looking to make sure that every fruit is unique or whatever, then you need to make sure that the chain is able to handle that that particular use case that you're talking about. And from a QR perspective, for example, what we did for one of the governments is there is tamper-proof unique QR codes that are pre-printed, and then they're initially in inactive state. And once it is onboarded and stuck onto the packet, then it is actually made live. So that way it prevents, there's a verification process through which it goes through before it's actually stuck onto the physical commodity. So there's a physical and digital linkage there. Right? So you can talk more if you have a specific use case. We can.
Yeah, sure. I would love to contact you offline, and
please, yeah.
I would
The
love to
contacts are
have your
available.
coordinates.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, Brijesh. You can put your message on the chat box. You can take one more last question. If anyone has, please unmute yourself.
I had one question. Hi, Shreyas here.
Yes, yes.
So, are you essentially looking at, I mean, from a future perspective, are you essentially looking at implementing the IoT value chain into this entire supply chain, this thing that you have built?
Yeah. We've already started that integration for the coffee value chain. One of the roasteries are already an IoT Bueller machine, IoT enabled, already puts the data independently directly onto the chain. Similarly, for example, there are use cases for fresh food or poultry or meat and so on, where the temperature of the product through which the entire chain is maintained is very, very critical. And those are the IoT integration data points we're already working to integrate. Yeah, that's part of what we have planned and already doing as well.
Got it. And this entire solution that you're building, it can be leveraged and utilized for any specific supply chain that can come to a name, right?
Yeah. Right now, our focus has been primarily on the food and agri. So that's where a lot of the integrations and all of that are built in. But yeah, it's a private permission blockchain network. So all participants in the chain can essentially, we can solve the problem for multiple value chains as well. Right? So, yeah.
All right. Okay.
Thanks, Shreyas. Thanks, Anil, for this wholesome presentation. With this, we can move forward. Thank you so much, Anil, for this demo day.
Thank you.
With this, we can move to a final presentation from Earnhance. That is Milind Kumar, founder and CEO of Anand. Anil, Milind, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's audible.
Yes, Milind, please go ahead.
Let me just share my screen. Then.
Sure. Yes, we can see the screen.
Yeah. So hi guys, my name is Milind Kumar. I'm the founder and CEO of Earnhance. So basically at Earnhance, we are building a super app where basically millennials can earn, invest, and spend smarter. So these are the three key platforms we are focusing on millennials and the young who are the basically beginners in the investing journey and who are looking forward like how to invest, where to invest. So these are the key target audience, basically a young investor we are focusing on. So on our platform, we are giving solution. Basically, people can earn, invest, and spend at the same time at the platform. So the first key area which you
hi Milind. Sorry to interrupt you, Milind. Your voice is getting cracked up a bit. I guess you are facing some internet issues. You can switch off your video. That might save some bandwidth.
Okay. Let me just do that. Is it audible now?
Yeah,
It
much
is.
better.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. So
Thanks.
yeah, so one of the first key problem which we are targeting is the problem itself. So as you can see here by the chart, like if you see like a lot of the jobs are taking day by day and year on year by AI and ML tech solutions. So that is a large youth population are getting unemployment year on year since 1999. If you see on this graph, it is increasing since now. So that's how people are more like India is one of the fastest freelancing growing market in the world. So second, second problem which we are targeting is the investing. So as of now, if you compare India with the other developed nation like US and China, like only 3 to 4% of Indian only investing in the stock market, and mostly compared to 55% of the US population. So that is a very minute number if you compare that way. And out of these 3 to 4 population, around 18 to 35 are in the age basically out of these 4%, 70% investor are in the age bracket of 18 to 35 itself. And if we talk about saving also, like mostly like 60% of Indians even don't have 5,000 rupees in their bank account. So they also don't even save as much. So third problem which we are focusing on is the spending section which we are targeting. So as of now, we have partnered with 100 merchants and brands on our platform. So anyone can shop on our platform and they can spend and spend smarter. So basically, if you see on the graph, like people mostly shop online due to as it saves times and people get the cheap rates, discounts, and all those kind of facility which they don't get at the offline stores. So if you see on this chart also, like probably their average Indian shop around 200 rupees, 2000 rupees per month on online. And if you see like baby boomers, 99% of baby boomers shop prefer to shop online only. They don't even look at the offline options. So that's the target audience which we're targeting. So this is our basically the Earnhance app which we have built on. So as you can see here on the first screen, it is basically a freelancing section where anyone can just search their skills like logo designing, influencer marketing, anything else which they want to service, and they can just start getting the project and start earning some money. And then at the second screen, if you see here, so that is basically an investing section where people can use our proprietary technology like micro investing, master trade, dividend investing, family wealth management solution, all those kind of platform, all those kind of features you can call it in a single place. And if you see here on the third screen, so basically we have a spending section basically where we have partnered with all the merchants from Amazon to local merchants. People can shop through our platform and they will get some cashback which they then invest further into their portfolio, which they can grow and save for their future. If we also talk about market size and opportunity, like there are around 10 billion transactions which happen daily in these three target areas. And out of these 10 billion transactions, there are around 8.5 billion transactions which happen online only, and which is increasing day by day, if you see. And out of these 8.5, around 6 billion transactions are done by the age group of 14 to 39-year-old, which is our target market for next 5 to 10 years. And if we talk about peers and validation, like there are few companies who have started giving out these functionality like micro investing and dividend investing. So as you can see here, but none of them are giving the basically you can call it a overall AI and ML technological tech solutions to the customer where they can work and basically earn, invest and spend at the same place only. If you see on the graph, So all these platforms are not giving us the exact functionality and the features which we are targeting. So they are mostly giving us only the investing, all the dividend investing, all track functionality only. But as you see on our platform, we are giving us a more of an overall one-stop solution where people can earn, invest, and spend smarter at a single place only. So as of now, there are a couple of competition across the world beside India. There are a couple of companies, as you can see here, like who are giving us the functionality like job, personal finance, micro investing, dividend investing, investing debit card, diversification, all those kind of platforms. So there are a couple of competition across India as well as outside India. So we have a great founding team from IIT, IIMs, and couple of advisors from top companies of India as well, who are working on this great idea. So basically, we launch our app in the late April, and in around 3 months of as of now, we have around 2,000 plus downloads, and who are basically using our platform and solving their problem. So basically, as of now, we are sooner we're going to launch our investing debit card. So we are looking for partners like who are banking and NFC partner who are basically work with us and give us the functionality like investing debit card and pay now, invest later, these kind of functionality on our platform. Yeah, that's all. Thank you. Yeah, happy to take your questions.
Thank you, Milind. We have a couple of questions on chat box. First, in what financial product can a user invest in? And second, can you share a revenue model?
Okay, so basically on a platform, so basically we are giving the functionality like we have partnered with Reseau, the Upstock, Kotak Security, all those kind of major brokers. Beside those, we have partnered with crypto exchange as well, like CoinDCX, all those kind of platform. So our mission is that any millennial can invest from stock, mutual fund, ETF, crypto, all those kind of functionality in single place only. They don't have to go to different apps for all those different assets. So that's the major goal. But as of now, if you talk about, there are majorly 3 categories which are available on our platform, which is stocks, ETF, commodities, and also crypto will be launched by the end of this week. And if you talk about revenue, so basically like if you talk about we are launch, it's been 3 months only. So around in last 3 months, the revenue has been around 1 lakh rupees.
That's great.
I just had one question.
Yes, please go ahead.
Milind, how many users have you onboarded till now?
Yeah, it's around 2,000 customer download on a platform.
And these are organic? These are organic?
Yeah, it's totally organic. We haven't started doing any paid ads or like those kind of marketing stuff as of now.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Milind Mukesh here from Nishkera. On the invest side, what are your expansion plans in terms of what kind of products you are going to add up in future?
So majorly we are looking at the future which we are looking like people can invest in crypto, NFT, gold, mutual fund, all different kind of investment in a single place. That's the major targeting. Like so currently for next 6 months we are majorly targeting all major 15 to 20 brokers in India who are giving all the investment facility like stocks, gold. So anyone can just connect their Zero, the Upstock, Allies Blue account on our platform and they can just start investing. So that's our goal for next 5 to 6 months. Basically partnering with all the brokers and exchange in India, and people can start connecting people can basically easily start connect their account and start investing into different assets from single place only.
Great, Milind. We have another question in chat box. There is a minimum limit for investment in Earnhance and equity. How are you going to tackle that via spending?
Yeah, so basically like as of now, like we are we're doing a lot of research and trying to use a lot of AI and ML technology in these kind of to tackle these kind of problems. So basically we are also going to launch a fractional share, fractional share, basically fractional share facility on a platform where people can invest, basically track and invest through very small amount in basically whatever they stock like in. Let's suppose if a person want to invest in Reliance or any kind of big amount of share basically, so they can save some amount, and slowly when the value become equal to the share, then automatically that money will be invested into his portfolio. So we are using couple of technological service like micro investing, dividend investing, like these fractional investing debit card. So basically, millennials, all the beginners who don't have enough money to invest, so they can start with as low as 20 rupees. So that's the main vision. So basically, anyone who don't have enough money can start with as low as 20 to 30 rupees into his portfolio.
Wonderful. Anyone have any other question? Please unmute yourself or put in the chat box.
Milind, I just had a question. So see, you've been talking very articulately about how you are kind of ensuring investing and ensuring financial freedom to the millennial segment. What about the first part where you said the earning potential, where you actually enable people to actually earn and then subsequently invest and then gain financial freedom? What I mean, how are you going to kind of enable that part and expand on that, or is that not a very critical focus area?
So as of now, as the point which was saying that how the individual will going to earn and invest at the same time. So as for the earning section, we are partnering with various startups and all the different kind of companies who are looking for a low alternative services. So that's why we are building a freelancing market on a platform where individual can just start. They don't have to spend any amount of money as of their own, and they can start taking different kind of services like social media marketing, logo designing. So basically start with no amount and they can start earning some money from the ground zero, and after that they can invest that amount into his portfolio and grow that amount into a large amount. So
what is going to be your
yeah.
value add? I mean, is it simply going to be sort of a marketplace where you connect the two companies who are looking for sort of freelancers and people who want to work as a freelancer, or are you going to add some value also, kind of mixing and matching the skill sets vis-a-vis requirement? I mean, what is the proposition going to be there on that side?
Yeah, for the mix matching which you were talking about, so we are using AI technology. So all the basically on that section, basically customer has to put all these skills. Let's suppose I am good with the software development or Python development or logo designing. So automatically I just have to set those skills into my account, and automatically whenever some project or related project come onto the platform related to that skill, automatically he or she will get the notification on the app, and after that he can talk directly to them.
And are you planning to kind of tie up with, actually there are companies who are actually specialized in that, right? I mean, this kind of freelancing, networking, etc. So are you planning to get them as an aggregator and integrating with them, or you are going to build whole of this ecosystem from a freelance perspective on your own?
No. We are not looking for exactly creating a whole ecosystem on our own as of now. So we are basically looking for a partners and who companies who are giving those who already have built those ecosystems. So we are looking for partnering with those kind of platforms. So our main area of business is investing only. So all the innovation and all the core areas of our investing only, like investing debit card, micro investing, family wealth management. Those are the key areas which is our core business as of now. But the shopping and freelancing are our secondary business. So definitely for these areas, we are looking for partners.
That's great, Milind. Thanks, Kanna. So we have similar type of question in our chat box from Sumit. Any plans to partner with existing freelancing platform like freelance.in or Upwork, which I guess you already been.
Yeah, it's already been answered. Yeah. So we are already looking for a partners like that.
Let's answer this, right? I just wanted to check while a customer onboards on your application, what kind of data do you collect from that customer? Is it, I mean, their demographics, profile? Do they need to fill a complete form while onboarding, or how is it?
No, currently, like on a platform, the onboarding process is very simple. They just have to connect to their, either they can basically they can create their account on a platform using their phone number, or they can just connect their Google or Facebook account through our app. So we are, as of now, we are not taking their any information, whether their name, beside their name and email ID.
But let's say somebody is looking for a freelancing job. So then do they fill up about their profile, past experience, their current job, anything else in your platform, and then you have access to that data, or how is it?
Currently, like we are already only going to take the skills which they have. Like if I am the person, if I am looking for a freelancing services, so I only have to skill like what are the skills which I'm looking for, or what are the freelancing projects which I'm looking forward for. So for logo designing, all the different kind of project, or basically the different skills which I have, and I am looking for those kind of projects. So those are the basically these areas which these you can call it these information which we'll be taking from the customer's point of view.
And even while investing, you would ask information such as their current monthly income or their
no. As of now, we are not taking any amount of those information on our platform. Customer can simply go on to stock. Basically, they just have to choose any of the investment asset, and they can just connect any of their different investment broker, either Zerodha, Upstock, and just start investing into different assets. It is as simple as that. They don't have to give any of the information.
Leave that need assessment and the mapping part to Zerodha and the other place. That's how.
Right.
Okay, understood.
Thanks, Dipanshu. Any other questions? Let's shoot out. Okay, that's it. That's it for the day. Thank you so much, Milind, for your presentation.
Yeah. Thank you for giving us a great opportunity.
No worries, Milind. Thank you so much. With this, we are like end of today's session. Thank you so much, all the audience, for coming up. Thank you so much for our principal partners, Scienzy, Open, and Perfios for supporting for this initiative. We hope to see you again in the upcoming.
Yeah, Mukesh here.
Yes, Mukesh.
Can you share this presentation with us? Is this possible?
We have already recorded this session. We will soon upload this recording to our YouTube channel, and we will share with you over your email.
Okay, and if possible, the contact details of the people who have presented today.
You can just mail us on fintechoi@startupreseau.com. I'm putting on a chat box as well.
Okay.
Please send us a mail so we can take this forward.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Have a great weekend ahead.
Thank you, Sumit and Nitesh, for organizing this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yash, for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.